Hi, I'm Jeremy Fisher, and in this tutorial, we're looking at the song That's So True by Gracie Abrams. Let's get started with the chords. I've got a capo at the first fret, and my first chord is an F, which I'm using my thumb to play. I've looked at some live footage of her. She doesn't play the root note, but she's got a bass player, so she's just playing those three notes up there, but we're gonna play the root note, assuming that you're playing solo acoustic. So that's the F chord. I'm muting my fifth string with this thumb. So I'm holding it down on the first fret here, and then I'm just lightly touching it on the fifth string so that it's muted like that. I'm also muting the first string with this finger. So just those four strings ring out. Next chord is A minor 7. And the next chord after that is G sus4. And it looks like I'm fretting this note with my middle finger, but I'm actually just using it again to mute, because I don't want the third in there. Not that low anyway. On the guitar, it's much nicer as a sus chord. Okay, and there is only one more chord in the song, and that is a C, like this, just your standard C. And now we're gonna look at what I'm doing in the right hand. Because the verse and the chorus to this song are identical, and really the only variation is when we get to the bridge and add that C chord, it's really important, I think, to differentiate the parts using your strumming pattern, using your right hand, creating some dynamics that tighten and make the verses sound smaller. And the way that we can do that is we can use a combination of left hand muting and right hand or palm muting. It's a 16th note rhythm. We're gonna slow it way down. Let's start with learning the strumming pattern for the chorus, and we'll learn to tighten it and make it smaller from there. So the chorus, nice and slow, starting on that F chord, is like this. 16th notes in the right hand. Nice and big and open, and I'll show you what the accents are after we go through the pattern. So you can see my right hand is just doing that 16th note pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, over and over again. But I am hitting some accents to give it a little bit of motion, which come from the recording. That's what they're doing on the recording, and it's the first beat. So by accent, I mean I'm playing some notes louder than others. So we'll call the accented ones the louder ones. So the louder strums are all on downstrokes, and they are the first one, all right, that's one measure of it. Accent, accent, accent. And then when we change chords, we do the same pattern of accents. So I'm exaggerating here a little bit, but that's kind of what you want. You want most of the strums to be very light, and then the accented ones, you want to be kind of at the loudest point that you're playing on the guitar. But you don't want them to be too loud that your strings are rattling against the fretboard and the frets and all that stuff. So for me, because I'm a heavy player, instead of thinking about making the accents louder, I'm actually thinking about making everything else quieter. So to tighten up the verse part, I'm going to use a combination of those accents as well as some left-handed muting and some right-hand palm muting. So it looks like this. So it's accent, mute, mute. And to mute, I'm just pulling all my fingers off and letting them hover there on the strings, so it makes that chucking sound. And again. So you can see on this chord, I'm actually just laying these two fingers right across. And I'm actually loosening the grip on these fingers as well, but this is making sure nothing rings out. And then to the G sus. And on here, I'm laying these two fingers down across the whole fretboard and muting with my whole hand. And to make it even smaller and even tighter, I'm gonna actually palm mute when I do those left-hand mutes. Okay, you see I lay my palm down against the strings there. And that just deadens it a little bit more. If you want to go even further and make more space for your vocal, you can do this whole section palm muted. And then when you get to the chorus, it's much bigger and more open. Okay, let's wrap up this tutorial with the final part, which is the bridge. And it is just gonna change chords on every bar. It's doing that same accented pattern in the big open chorus version of the right hand. Change to A minor 7, C, G sus4. If you're looking for more tutorials, please join me over at patreon.com/JeremyFisherMusic. You can connect with me personally over there, make requests for songs that you'd like to learn, just engage with the community, and it's a great way to support this YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for following along. I'll see you here soon for another music tutorial.